Good day, my friends. LucariosKlaw here. Hope you're all having a wonderful time wherever you are in your part of the world. Wanted to take a little time to just sit here on my favorite couch and talk to you about a little subject that I've had going around in my mind recently, and wanted just to take a little moment to share it with you about some of my thoughts that I've had about it. And it's a subject that a lot of us have had to deal with a lot during our lives, I'm sure. And sometimes we know how to deal with it, sometimes we don't. Sometimes it's something that comes easier for some people. Sometimes it's a lot harder for people to understand and make it work for themselves. What I'm talking about is confidence. Now, confidence can be a tricky subject for a lot of people, like I've said, me including. I've had points in my life where I've not felt as confident as I should about certain things. Now, when I talk about confidence in this sense, I'm talking more about confidence in terms of opportunities that could come your way during your life. Now, this could entail any number of things, really. It could, well, for me, the most easiest example would be talking about voiceover roles or whenever they come around. But this could apply to anything else, really. It could apply to finding a relationship that you want to be in, or getting a job that you want, or applying to a college that you want to get to. It could apply to a lot of different situations like that. And when I've come to, well, I should say, when I've started out very young, I had very supportive parents that always pushed me to do whatever I wanted to do, but always to try to get through school first. And they always tried to help me feel confident about myself. But as many of you probably know, school isn't always that easy. We have to go through challenges that we're always not prepared to face, whether it be in assignments or different situations or different people that may not mesh with our personalities. And sometimes when we don't always come through in those situations, that can cause a loss in confidence in yourself. Now, I've had this happen to me plenty of times. Even recently, this has happened to me in some form or fashion. I won't go into details as to what exactly causes that for me, but just know that if you've ever felt points where you don't feel confident in yourself, that you're not alone out there. There are plenty of people, including me, have had moments that we feel almost hopeless, like we're not worth the trouble. But I always tried to find the good side of things, and I always tried to find ways that could help set me down the right path. So after doing a lot of reading and such and talking to different people about the subject, I was able to find one thing that was able to help reframe my thinking about the subject of confidence, and I wanted to share that with you. This may be a common subject, this may be a common idea for some of you, but I at least wanted to talk about it in my sense and talk about how it's helped me reframing my own self-confidence. So when we talk about confidence in terms of opportunities we can find, there's usually two types of mindsets that can prevail when an opportunity works or not. The first one that a lot of people tend to slip into is what's called a scarcity mindset. Now, what that means is that something may happen to us, we may have an opportunity that comes right before us, we're really excited, we want to make sure this works, and it doesn't work out, and then the scarcity mindset causes us to believe that there's never going to be another chance. Like we blew the one moment that we were going to have to make this thing work, and then that wears on our self-confidence, making you think that you're the main problem. Now, in certain situations, there's always the case that you may not have always prepared, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if the situation doesn't work, then those in the scarcity mindset think there's never going to be another chance for them, and that they're losers for never being able to get that opportunity to work for them, and that it drains on their confidence not being able to do anything about it. The second type of mindset that comes around, and that's abundant, is this, that helped me reframe my own thinking, is what's called an abundance mindset. In terms of an abundance mindset, what this means is that we go around having these same opportunities, going through the same things, and then when it doesn't work out for us, instead of thinking that there's no other chance for us, we keep in mind that this was just one event in a multitude of events. We remember that there is no way we could possibly know that there is never going to be another chance in such a situation. So for example, in a voiceover world, if you don't get a certain part, realize that there are more parts out there right now, and there will be more parts in the future. You just need to learn from that one point where you didn't make it and apply it to the next part. Because let me tell you, if you're ever interested in a voiceover job or a voiceover career, keep in mind that 90% of the time, you're not going to get the part. That's just a fact, and many other people will tell you this too. You got to be able to learn how to deal with rejection, to be able to deal with criticism, and to be able to apply the helpful criticism, at least, to your own craft, and to be able to keep yourself getting better the entire time. Now again, this can apply to other situations. Say, for example, you wanted to date somebody and they turned you down saying they weren't interested. Instead of thinking in the scarcity mindset, thinking, oh, I've just lost the love of my life, I've never find another person like them. Maybe not, but you keep in mind there are 7 billion people on the planet, and that they were just one person that you tried for, and if they reject you, that just means that this one more person off the list that was not compatible with you. There are many, many people out there that can be compatible with your personality and your likes and interests and everything like that. So there's always another chance if you take what you learned from the first one and apply it to the next round. And again, with colleges and with jobs, if it didn't work out in one thing, keeping in mind the abundance mindset, remember that it's not the end of the world. That there's always going to be another chance as long as you dust yourself off after falling down and trying again. And you always got to be able to remember to learn from your mistakes. And that's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of us. Learning that we actually messed up and that our best effort wasn't always going to get us the reward that we were hoping for. And that's hit me a few times as well. But it's important that whenever you start to fall into that low mindset, to stop your thoughts. Just recognize that you're about to start berating yourself and putting yourself down, and just tell yourself, stop. It's okay. And that there's going to be another chance for me. And to be able to just take a breath and to think about what you already have, and to be grateful for what you have already achieved in your life. Because there could be things in your life that you've achieved that you may not think are special, but you're still the one that did it. You were able to get through a hard exam at school that nobody else was able to do. You were able to get that job you always wanted. You were able to go to a certain college. You were able to achieve something that was your own, and that way you can help yourself become more confident when you realize that. A lot of times when we start getting very harsh on ourselves, we forget some of the things that we've achieved. So sometimes it's helpful to be able to take time, maybe make a list. Sometimes people like to write it down in a notebook or journal. Some people like to type it out. Leaving yourself reminders that these are some of the things I've achieved, and these are some of the things that I'm proud of myself and what I've been able to do. Now some people might think, oh, it's a journal, diaries, do I really have to do that? I'm not saying you have to, it's just an idea. But there's always things that you can do to help remind yourself of what you have if you don't always make it work. So I have a little tablet here talking about scarcity and abundance mindsets. You can see the eerie glow coming off my face. There are certain things that you can do when you start getting into that low mindset to help you reframe your thinking and to help keep yourself from beating yourself down. Remember to always see the opportunity in a situation. Always remind yourself that there's going to be more than enough chances for you. Even if you've really messed up at something, like big time, if some dream job that you had just did not work out, maybe that's all right. Maybe there's something else out there for you. It's always important to remember to just keep trying at some of the things you want to do, and you can always find some way to make it work for yourself. Remember to spend time in reflection with yourself. Remember to think about the things that you're grateful for. And if you're still having these thoughts, because this is not going to be fixed overnight, because keep in mind, I am by no means a professional on this stuff. But if you're still having these thoughts, maybe take time to write some of them down, like some of your fears, some of your worries. Start looking at them objectively, and then try and figure out why you're afraid you're going to be losing these things. Why is that such a big problem? And then once you have that list, start putting another list together besides that and showing all the things that you've accomplished, that you're grateful for, that you're thankful for in your life. And maybe you'll start to see that all of those start to outweigh all of your negatives. And if there's a specific thing that you're looking for, then maybe try giving it out yourself. So what I mean by that is, if you don't feel like you have enough time, take some time out of your day to help somebody in need. If you feel like you don't have enough money, give some of your money to charity and see how grateful people are for that. If you don't feel like you have enough love in your life even, go out and start spreading it yourself, because what you start sowing out there in the world eventually can return to you. One of the sayings that I actually like in this little article talking about it is, be a river, not a reservoir. So be the river that helps push all this stuff out into the world instead of just waiting for it to come back to you. Because if we sit there on our hands just waiting for opportunities to come by, more than likely that's never going to happen. We have to be able to go out there and chase our opportunities for ourselves and remind ourselves that if it doesn't work out, that it's okay. We can always try again, and that we can always work to get what we want, even if it doesn't always work the first time around, because 99.9% of the time it probably won't. But as long as you keep making yourself get better, as long as you keep learning, as long as you keep yourself humble through every opportunity that comes to you, then eventually, at some point in time, it'll work out. And that has really helped me a lot. Even though I'm not perfect to this day in learning about confidence and learning to keep it high for myself, being able to stop and reframe my thinking from the scarcity mindset to the abundance mindset has really helped me out personally. Now, if you want to talk about this with somebody, there's always people out there that could be willing to help you with that. Your parents, friends, family, maybe there's someone in your community that you feel that you can really trust and you can talk to. Sometimes even therapy helps out if you feel like you need to step to a level like that. There's no shame in going out and finding the help you need when you feel like you need help to reframe your thinking in that set. And you'll become stronger for it once you do. And for me, that has helped tremendously, keeping that in mind. And I hope that just a little bit of what I've said here today, because I know I've been rambling quite a bit here, because I did not have a script. This is all coming off the top of my head. I hope that this has helped you in a little bit, reminding yourself that learn to find that confidence. Take time, learn to try and build on it, because it won't be fixed overnight. But as I said with opportunities, the more you practice and the more you learn, the more it's going to start coming about for you. And I hope that you all are able to find confidence in yourselves if you don't necessarily feel it all the time. I believe you can do it. You just gotta believe you can do it, because you gotta be your best supporter for yourself throughout life. There'll always be people that'll be there to support you on the outside, but you yourself have got to be your best friend, and to be able to tell yourself, hey, I can do this, and I can go out there and make this world and this life my own. So I hope that you are all able to take a little bit from this talk and to be able to apply it to your own lives. Be sure to tune back into this channel if you're more interested in me rambling on about subjects like this. Hopefully I was able to provide a little bit of good insight for you. But until next time, this is LucariosKlaw wishing you a good day, a good evening, and good night. Take care, y'all.